Welcome to In the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. In the Huddle is brought to you by Mole Lake Casino Lodge and Conference Center. Now, here's Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman B.J. Raji.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tanner's in Kimberly. Good to have you along here this evening. A brand new season of In the Huddle. And I'd like to welcome my new co-host for the season in his third NFL season. He is B.J. Raji. Welcome, B.J.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you along. It's going to be a great season. You really had an outstanding year last year, and I want to start off talking about how much you played. I mean, the actual snaps you take in a football game is, what, probably 90%, somewhere in that ballpark?
Yeah, it's around between 85 and 90%. You know, that's kind of the role you take on when a team drafts you in the slot that they drafted me. So thank God I was up for the challenge.
Yeah, you know, there's defensive linemen. Everybody else kind of rotates, and the snaps are pretty even, but you're the one workhorse out there.
Yeah, that's kind of how it's designed, and I'm just fortunate to be able to stay healthy and contribute to our success.
6.5 sacks in 2010, and that led all nose tackles in the National Football League for the season, so that's pretty good. I mean, there's pretty good nose tackles out there.
I appreciate it, yeah. I mean, we do a lot of different things on defense. I think Dom comes up with some great schemes and gives me some opportunities, and I got to try to take advantage of them.
You started every game last year, regular season, playoffs, Super Bowl, all the way through, and didn't miss anything. And you talk about being blessed to be able to stay healthy and that kind of thing. That can't be easy, because there's guys, you know, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, you're falling down, hitting your legs, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was always told as a football player, you know, you can play hurt, you can't play injured. I mean, it was obviously sometimes last year I wasn't feeling my best, but thank God I was able to avoid injury.
18-yard interception return against the Bears in the NFC Championship game. And that's like the it's like the margin. That's the difference right there.
It is. I mean, it was a great call by Dom, and actually that was the first time we actually ran that defense all year, and that was a great one-for-one.
I can't wait personally for Thursday night. And one of the things is just to see what Don creates. Don Capers, we're talking about, the defensive coordinator, to see what he comes up with. Not just Thursday. I mean, every game, it's become such a expectation of what's going to happen with yourself, with Clay Matthews, with Woodson blitzing off the corner, Tremont Williams out the other side. I mean, there's so many things that happen in the game. And then the other team may be anticipating, and sometimes doesn't happen. It's like, you know, you guys always seem to be a step ahead of the other guys.
Right. Well, you have a great defensive mind like Dom. I mean, it obviously also helps to have the personnel that we have to do those things. And, you know, when our defense is clicking, it's pretty hard to stop.
Regular season is now upon us. Saints on Thursday. You guys ready?
I believe we are.
You don't have a choice, do you?
No, I choose to be ready.
When you look at, you know, that football game and the enormity of everything, I mean, you know, you just have to take one look out in your parking lot to see how big the football game is. And there's the game itself, and then there's the game within the game, or the fans and all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on Thursday night.
Yeah, but I mean, my job is to worry about what's going on inside the stadium. You know, obviously they have a great festivities there as far as, you know, the different bands that'll be performing. I heard it's probably the largest crowd that'll be in a parking lot in a while, 100,000 people. So that should be fun. But the actual game itself, we're just coming off a big game in the Super Bowl. So I mean, I think we'll be ready for this one.
Yeah, I'm hearing that they're thinking that there'll probably be an all-time record for kegs consumed on Thursday night as well, so there'd be a lot of beer in that parking lot.
I'm not surprised.
You know, football back on time, what a relief that is.
Oh, yeah. Well, I knew we would be back on time. I wasn't quite sure with the actual preseason, what would happen there. But we were able to settle things between both sides, and we're back, like you said.
Yeah. Were you worried at any point at all?
No. I didn't think we would miss any part of the season. Like I said before, I was concerned with more of the preseason, just getting ready to actually play games like week to week.
You guys played so far into, you and the Steelers, so far into February technically, that there wasn't going to be, under normal circumstances, much of an off season. Did that, in a way, kind of help you guys to get a little more rest?
I like to think so. Coach planned on he was going to give us a little more time off anyway, despite the lockout. But with the lockout taking place, he obviously didn't have to do that. And I think the guys that we had healthy were able to rest up and mend their bodies and get ready to play.
So what'd you do in the off season?
I was back home primarily on the East Coast. You know, I took some trips here and there, but I was just focused on getting ready and spending time with my family that I don't get to see too often.
So what do you do working out-wise?
Last year I kind of switched it up. I was more of on a one-on-one basis with my technique coach, just, you know, in the weight room a little bit for a couple months, and primarily football's played outside on the field, so I wanted to get outside and do some things.
Mm-hmm. The number of teams decided that they were going to get, in fact, the Saints were one of them. They had their whole team together once the draft took place, and of course they had to use a facility that was not under the Saints ownership, and Drew Brees and some of the other captains got everybody together. They were one of the teams that, you know, really kind of got into the off-season workout program. Packers really didn't do as much of that, or if, you know, any at all in most cases. Were you surprised at that, or was that kind of the plan all along? Did anybody try to get anything going?
No. I think that our philosophy was at the time, particularly on offense, you know, they've been in the system for about 5 years now. And defense is just going into our third year. And football is primarily played with pads on. You know, I mean, I know it sounds good to be out there throwing the ball around, but with no coaches, nobody to coach you up, no one to talk to you about technique, how much work are you actually getting done? That's productive. That's my question.
Yeah.
And I felt that collectively we knew that it's a different atmosphere without the coaches, and I thought that we were better suited to just wait the whole thing out and get back to training camp.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, you want to, you know, if you're working, but if you're doing the wrong work,
right,
you know, not technically sound, that's not a good thing either.
Right, I had some buddies on different teams, and it was basically, I can't say every team, I can't speak for every team, but the guys I was talked to, it's a completely different atmosphere than when the coaches were obviously there.
Okay, you grew up in New Jersey, or?
I was born and raised in New York City, and then I kind of moved right across the water in New Jersey.
Okay.
And I was always in New York and New Jersey, so I mean, I had the best of both worlds.
All right, and you got a brother that played college basketball at Boston College as well.
Yes, sir. He's actually on his way to Germany this Tuesday, so I'm excited for him, and hopefully he makes the best of that opportunity.
All right, look for Corey Raji. You see his name in the sports clippings. That's BJ's brother. So, all right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and we'll meet our guest, and we'll continue more in the huddle from Tanner's Bar and Grill in Kimberly. Back with more after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman B.J. Raji.
And we are back at Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill here in Kimberly with Packers nose tackle B.J. Raji. And it's time now to meet tonight's guest. In his third season out of Eastern Michigan, the new starting left guard of the Green Bay Packers, T.J. Lang. It's got a pretty nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. It's about time, man.
B.J., you face T.J. every day in training camp practice. Tell me about what kind of left guard the Green Bay Packers got right now.
Honestly, I think TJ's the right man for the job. His combination of athleticism and strength, I think, allows Aaron to have a little more time in the pocket. And I think that he does a great job, and hopefully by playing more, he'll gain the experience that he needs to become a great left guard.
Now, you did you see what he said for you in the Journal-Sentinel a few weeks back?
Sure is putting up some high expectations for me, I'll tell you that much. But.
Tell us, it was basically, a reporter asked you about TJ in comparison to Darren College, who the Packers decided not to re-sign and let him hit the free agent market. In a nutshell, sum up that conversation.
Well, what I was trying to get at was basically football is obviously played throughout the course of a game. It's not a series or a play. And throughout the course of a game, I felt that TJ is a much stiffer competition than Darren. Not taking anything away from him. Darren's a good player. He's probably a starter in this league for a while. But I feel like TJ puts the most pressure on you as a defensive lineman because he has long levers, and he's very aggressive. He's strong, and he has the athleticism to kind of deter you from turning the corner and getting to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty nice, huh?
Yeah, it is. I mean, not every day you get to hear what those guys think about you. But I read that stuff, what all those guys had to say, and it was definitely good for my confidence because I'm always questioning hey, am I doing a good job? And to hear those guys give me some nice compliments, that was definitely nice to hear.
Packers draft an offensive lineman, Derek Sherrod, in the first round. He's supposedly the heir apparent at left tackle for Chad Clifton when that time comes. But they threw him right into the left guard spot, competing for the job with yours truly. Now, you in your second season, not necessarily entitled to taking that job all by yourself. You knew there was going to be some competition, but give me your thought process when they draft Sherrod and then you find out when he's going to step on the field and compete for the left guard job. And it kind of looked to me like they were, on the depth chart. And I know that doesn't always mean everything, but they were kind of setting him in front of you.
Yeah, well, after watching the draft and seeing them take a guy and, me thinking in the back of my mind that Darren's probably not going to be back, it wasn't really a big surprise to me to see them put Derek in there at first. And, I certainly didn't come in and expect anything to be handed to me just because I was the older guy. They wanted to see me compete for it, and they wanted to see, how hard I was really going to work for that spot. And, I don't know if they were trying to light a fire under me, but the competition there with Derek coming in and playing well, I think that definitely made me a better player. And I'm glad to have that spot now, and I certainly know that there's more things I need to improve on. But I definitely like the fact that they made us compete for the spot, and it makes me appreciate it a little bit more knowing that I earned it, that it wasn't handed to me. So I'm excited to be there, and I'm excited for the opportunity to keep getting better.
BJ, as that competition unfolded, what were your thoughts on between Derek and TJ?
Well, I think they both present some good advantages as far as from a leverage standpoint. They're both longer arm guys to kind of keep defensive linemen at bay. TJ appears to be a nice guy, but on the field, every good offensive lineman has like a mean streak to them. You know what I mean? At some times, and they can finish blocks off.
Yeah, I've never thought of him as a nice guy, but that's between you and me.
I think maybe because Derek is young, I'm just being observant, being at practice. I haven't really seen that yet, and I think the coaches probably noticed that and probably realized TJ was a better fit.
Yeah, you filled in for Clifton when he was hurt, Tauscher when he was hurt. I would imagine, and that was a couple of years ago, but I would imagine that those experiences, albeit at tackle instead of at guard, certainly from a confidence standpoint, had to help you as well.
Well, no doubt. I mean, just having the chance to go out there and start 3 games in my rookie year and get a handful of snaps, left tackle, right tackle, a little bit of left guard. At the time, it was frustrating because I wanted to settle into one spot, but looking back on it now, it only boosted me to where I'm at now. It helped me better understand what everybody's job responsibility is and really how the unit works together as opposed to just seeing, focusing on your own job. So that definitely helped me from a mental aspect, and knowing that, I've played in a lot of tough games in those spots, and that definitely helps me from an experience standpoint.
You had wrist surgery in the off-season a year ago. That really prevented you from taking part in the off-season program, kind of set you behind the 8 ball. And you said something to me yesterday when we were talking, and it was one of those scenarios where as you're competing for a job, the first 2 years you're really just trying to compete for a roster spot. And I know that had to be disappointing because going into your second year prior to the wrist thing, you really had hoped to be able to battle for a starting job at that point. It didn't happen. And what a difference the third year makes, because it's a different scenario this year.
Yeah, no doubt. And, like you said, the first 2 years I was just satisfied with, having a spot on the 53. Last year I know there was a lot of expectations for me to come in and challenge for a spot just because, I had a pretty solid rookie campaign. And the wrist injury definitely set me back big time. But, this offseason I made it a point. It was my number 1 goal to come in and start. I felt like it's my 3rd year now. I know the offense. I'm comfortable. I've had the experience. I can go in there and get the job done and be effective. So just from a mindset aspect, going into this year was tremendously different.
Do you know what he probably over the last 6 months or so became really famous for?
Oh, what was that?
DJ? It's forgetting his mug on TV. everywhere you look, when it came to Super Bowl coverage or whatever, everywhere you looked, TJ was on TV. I mean, it was, on the field, somewhere there was a camera, there was a live camera, TJ was there.
You know what? I don't know what to say. I mean, I've seen plenty of shots. I've actually seen that one with TJ. But, I mean, they probably love this pretty mug.
Yeah, this sells right here. You wouldn't think it, but, but I get that every game. It's, people are calling me and texting me saying, we saw you on TV 10 times. And I could be standing at the opposite side of the bench by myself, and somehow the camera will still have up on me. I don't know what it is, man, but I guess it's good luck for us.
I kind of saw you standing next to the coach quite a bit, so you could get a TV.
The thing is, I like to stand next to Coach McCarthy because, he calls the plays, and I like to be able to hear what's going on so I know what to expect out on the field. And it just happens once in a while I get in the TV shot.
Maybe you could just line up a headset. Say, Coach, can I get a headset? I want to hear what's going on. I want to be a coach someday. Come on.
Well, that wouldn't be bad, but I'll be I'll be on TV a lot more this year, since I have the starting spot. But hopefully they can keep that ugly mug off the screen. There.
Let's hope it's not helping Aaron Rodgers stand up again either. So.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Taking a shot. I like it.
So tell me about I watched BJ in practice, and I watch him in the one-on-ones and all that kind of that friendly competition that goes on between offensive and defensive linemen. And this guy's like the quickest big guy I've ever seen. It's amazing how fast he gets around guys into different moves and the swims and the head slaps and whatever, all that kind of stuff that defensive linemen do. Tell me what it's like facing B.J. Raji when you're going one-on-one.
It's tough, man. I like to categorize players into two different categories, and you either usually have a guy that's fast, an explosive guy that likes to work the edge, or you got a bigger guy that relies on his bull rush and his power to get by you. With BJ, it's a mix of everything. It's really hard to have a plan in your mind of what you want to do, when you're blocking BJ, because he's got so many tools that are effective. So, it's really tough, and really getting a chance to go against him training camp, that also made me a better player, just seeing that high level competition day in, day out.
What's it? Does he have that game face on when he's in practice?
Yeah, every snap. I mean, he'll try to trick you and tell you he's not going to come hard, and then next thing you know, he's bull rushing you to the quarterback. But he's definitely a guy. He brings it every practice. He really takes that opportunity to work on his moves and get better, and he's one tough player.
All right, transportation for our guests provided by L&S Classic Limousine. We will be back with more in the Huddle from Tanner's here in Kimberly. B.J. Raji and T.J. Lang. We'll be back with more after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman B.J. Raji.
And we're back at Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill in Kimberly in the Huddle, brought to you by Mole Lake Casino Lodge and Conference Center. Enjoy the excitement of Vegas close to home at Mole Lake Casino Lodge and Conference Center in beautiful Crandon, Wisconsin, along with co-host B.J. Raji. Tonight's guest, new starting left guard T.J. Lang. Also want to welcome 27 stations on the Woodward Radio Network, hearing this show each and every Monday night and Tuesday nights after the Packers play a Monday night football game, including our three newest affiliates in Prairie du Chien, WQPC, in Viroqua, WVRQ AM, and in Watoma, WAUH. Well, last season, Mike McCarthy put up a new picture frame next to the other pictures of the Packers' World and Super Bowl championship teams. And he did it at the beginning of the season with no picture in it. The only way you're going to get your picture in it was to win the Super Bowl. That was something that was in a message, I would imagine, early on. What did you guys think of that?
Well, me personally, I just thought it was a great motivational tool. And, different things happen. I mean, we had some close losses, but somehow Coach McCarthy would always tie that to our ultimate goal, which was the Super Bowl. And I think that kind of got embedded in everyone's mind, that no matter what's going on right now, keep battling it out, and ultimately we know where we want to be in February.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a day that went by that Coach wasn't pointing up to that blank picture saying that's our goal. And, nothing's changed this year. Our picture's up from last year. It's good to see. And right next to it's another empty picture.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he just said yesterday or today, one of the two, that he's got a new frame up. And and he's going to use that ploy again.
Yeah, it worked last year, and going into, this year we're sitting down and the first thing he did was point at the blank picture. It was like, we moved on from last year, and this year's, we have the same goal and hope to get back there and put up another one.
He really is a coach, though, that, he's got a purpose for everything he does, and sometimes it may not, you may look at it on its face and say, you kind of look at it a little weird, maybe question it, and then all of a sudden down the road there's a reason why he does this way. So many different things. He's just got a reason for everything that he does, and it always ties into the ultimate goal, and that's to win the big win.
Right. I think particularly on our coaching staff, we have a lot of guys with a lot of experience. So when you get Coach McCarthy, a smart, offensive mind, but when you combine that with the Dom Capers, a Turkovac, and a lot of those guys on offense, and you get those great minds together, they really come up with the ultimate plan. And we have a lot of vision. They have a lot of vision, and they kind of pinpoint in our focus and kind of direct us.
How's Coach Turkovac? This guy, he's been a defensive coordinator in the league, and probably going to be a defensive coordinator again someday. And there's times where he puts his arm around you and treats you like you're his kid, and then there's times where he's all over you. And I'm not sure he gets on you like I see some of the other guys, but what's he like to play for?
I think he's a blessing to have as a player. He'll never allow you to feel comfortable. And his experience and coaching guys like Julius Peppers, coaching the Bruce Smith, coaching the Charles Haley, he's able to kind of just direct me in the right path from the meeting rooms, how to take good notes and be able to study from that, to the game day, how to read different formations and kind of get teams' tendencies. And he's a pleasure to work for, because he's always coming up with new innovative ways, to understand and learn the game. And when his passion, I have a great passion for football, and I feel so thankful to have a coach that cares about the game as much as I do. It allows me to go to him with different questions and things, and he's within a day or so he's coming back with an answer. Or if I'll ask him, Coach, I want to get some film on Bruce Smith or somebody like that, and within 24 hours I have a CD in my locker. So it's just, I feel fortunate, and that he loves football just as much as I do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, the night before the Super Bowl, you guys have a meeting, and lo and behold, there's people fitting you guys, getting your ring sizes for Super Bowl rings. Another one of those motivators, another one of those tactical deals that Mike McCarthy threw out there. Was that the final motivation piece that you needed to kind of just seal the deal, to finish it off?
Well, it was, I think a lot of people, looked at that and thought we were being cocky, but at the same time, we had to get fitted for a ring, whether it was going to be the Super Bowl ring or the NFC Championship ring. So, but that night before when we were getting fitted, it was kind of like, man, we better win this thing, because we just spent a whole lot of time fitting people, and people are going to grill us if we don't win. But that was huge motivation for us, and thankfully it worked out.
Yeah, and it's like going back to what I said with the coaches, how we're taught, you gain your confidence from preparation. And Coach McCarthy does a great job of preparing for our opponents. He's the play caller, obviously, and I think that's where his confidence comes from, because he spends so much time throughout the week preparing for our opponents, that game day come, he's really confident, and obviously he has one of the best quarterbacks in the league to work with. So I think when you combine those two ideas and philosophies, I think it's a great thing to have.
Now, I know you guys believe you're going to win the Super Bowl, and you could win the whole thing, but was there a point in time at all during that week, or maybe the morning of, or that you just knew, you just had that gut feeling that this is going to be our day?
Me particularly, I'm very close with Jarius Wynn, and he actually had a baby on Super Bowl Sunday, the actual day of the game. So I was just like, man, this is all I need to hear. I wake up in the morning and then was telling me that Jarius' wife gave birth to a baby boy, and I'm just like, there's no way we can lose today. One of my best friends is, one of the best things that's happened to him on one of the best days of his life. And I think, if we go out here and play well, I really like our chances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it was, the week of preparation that we had. That first practice that we had down in Dallas, it was almost like a training camp practice. It was very physical. Guys were intense, getting after each other. And that, to me, just showed us that, we really want it, we deserve it, and walking off the field after that last practice, I mean, we had put in all the hard work, and we were confident in our preparation, and you know, it was just everything fell into place for us, and you know, we had all the confidence in the world going in that game.
I mean, the weather was chaos for fans. Did that weather help you guys in a way to keep the blinders focused in the right direction?
I don't think it did. You know, we had a plan even before we got to Dallas. You know, coach was obviously, he's not naive. You know, we're grown men, and so we had to have some type of, you know, some fun. Guys would go to the mall. I mean, some people will go out, but he kind of set, you know, days where, you know, the earlier you want to kind of get the fun out of the way in the earlier part of the week. So you get Wednesday, Thursday, I mean, you're focused on the game. I think guys did a good job of that, and particularly at an event like the Super Bowl, the big parties aren't really going down to the weekend of, you know, when we're pretty much on lockdown. We're not able to do those things. So I don't think the weather had any effect on us. It was a little disappointing, to be honest. I mean, we're coming from a freezing Green Bay to go down, you know, as far south as we could possibly go, and to have bad weather, I was just like shaking my head.
Yeah. Now, does Super Bowl lockdown mean Super Bowl lockdown, or is it lockdown?
Well, once again, I mean, Coach McCarthy, he treats us like men. At the same time, he expects you to use your head. You know, if you have curfew, he expects you to be in your room at curfew. I mean, he gives us ample time. Even when we travel on the road, he gives us time to go grab a bite to eat, grab dinner with, you know, position coaches or what have you. If you're having your family come in town, he gives you time to do that. But he also understands that, I mean, this is your job, and when he asks you to be somewhere, I mean, he expects you to be there.
All right, Mike McCarthy said right off the bat this season, we are not here to defend our Super Bowl championship. We are out to win the next one. Thought it was interesting. I mean, the guy's got a plan right off the bat. Wants to put, you know, he wants to set the path, and he wants you guys to follow it. And you know, you're going to have, I mean, people are going to be chasing you, targets on your back, but he doesn't want you looking at it like you got to defend this. He wants you saying, we're going to go win another one.
Yeah, and that's you know, that's really been our mindset this whole camp and going into the season. I mean, it's a different year for us. You know, we have different players on the field for us, and you know, we realize that teams are going to want to knock us off just because we're the defending champions. But you know, at the same time, you know, we're not relaxed at all. I think we're you know, just as hungry, if not hungrier, than we were last year to go back and do it all again. So for us, you know, it's just, Coach tells us every day, you know, be the hunter. You know, don't be the guy with the target on your back. So we're going into this year, you know, chasing another Super Bowl.
All right, our email segment of the week, sponsored by Granite Peak Ski Area, is coming up. Each week you can win a ski weekend for two if your email is selected as the email question of the week. Back with that and more from Tanners and Kimberly after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
To In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman B.J. Raji.
And welcome back, along with B.J. Raji, T.J. Lang, our guest on the program this evening. Our email segment is brought to you by Granite Peak. The Granite Peak season pass sale is on now through September 30th. If you ski or ride 6 times or more, this season's pass is the best value. Go to skigranitepeak.com and purchase your season pass today. Get ready to enjoy the upcoming season. Along with B.J. Raji and T.J. Lang, we're live at Tanners and Kimberly. Time now to check our Granite Peak email mailbox. Let's go into the audience. Justin Hull from AM 1570 The Score. Justin?
Yeah, Bill, I just want to remind everybody to inthehuddleshow.com. That is the website, inthehuddleshow.com. Each and every week, if you have a question, you can submit it there, and we'll relay it to our guests. So, first questions for both of you guys. It's coming from Melissa here in Appleton. She says, TJ, last year you talked about your fantasy football league. Are you doing that again? And BJ, are you a fantasy football player?
We're definitely doing it again this year. Actually, we're doing our draft tonight, so pretty pumped about that. And I am the defending champion, so I guess if I go about it like we're going about our business, I'm going to hunt another championship instead of defending it.
With me, it's one of those things where I was going to do it with my close friends, but they're the type of people that I don't see myself checking it quite as often as they would be, so they would kind of get fed up with me. I probably won't be making any substitutions from week to week, so I feel like I would be more of a hindrance to actual lead than, you know what I mean, than anybody else, somebody else. So I told him, you know what, just fill my spot with somebody that would take it serious.
Yeah, if you probably had your quarterback of your fantasy team and you're going to sack him, you wouldn't want to lay off of him for fantasy football reasons, right?
Exactly.
Who's the pick, TJ? Who's the #1 fantasy player this year?
This year? Oh, wow.
Where are you picking? Do you know that?
No, we don't know yet.
All right.
But
If you had the #1 pick, who would you grab?
see, I don't know, because you're supposed to pick like a running back in the first round because they say they get you the most points. Arian Foster had a huge year last year, and but you know, Aaron's a guy who had a huge year last year as well. So I don't know. There's definitely some game planning going into it. I'm gonna have to finalize my game plan going into tonight.
You might want to start.
Well, I got an hour, so I've got a little cheat sheet on my iPad that'll tell me who to pick. So,
All right, we'll get to the next question. This one comes from Laura in Appleton. Wants to know, each of you guys, what is the worst job you have ever had?
I actually was a cashier at a local Kmart around my house. Not the most exciting time of my life. It was actually pretty boring. And, you know, sometimes you'll be overwhelmed with customers when to check out, and sometimes you go around for hours without anyone coming. So those are probably the down years of my life.
You need more blue light specials is what you need.
I'd say for me, probably backing up Chad Clifton because it seemed like he was getting hurt every year in my rookie year, and that was just so stressful. But you know, I honestly, you know, when I was in high school, I had a job for like $6 an hour passing flyers out for some handyman company, you know, for 4 hours during the summer heat, and that wasn't any fun.
Boy, how the times have changed. When I was in high school, I was making $2.85 an hour. So,
boy, that's when gas cost like 10 cents a gallon too, though. So.
You're close.
We'll try to follow that one up with the next question. This one's coming from Doug as well in Appleton. What do you guys do on your days off during the season?
Well, for me, I'm a guy. I like to go in the stadium, no matter if it's a day off or, you know, if we have the whole day off or have to be there half a day. I like to, you know, get extra treatment and take care of my body, get a head start on the film going in, you know, to the next week. This year's going to be a little different, you know, with my son up here and you know, my family up here. So I'm sure I'll be spending a whole lot more time at home. But you know, it's always nice to have those days off.
Me, myself, I like to go in the stadium as well, but I try to schedule, you know, like ART, which is like active release therapy, on the days I know I have off, and some type of massage, just maybe a little soft rub just to get me ready, get me going for the week.
All right, we got one more question. We got time for it, Bill?
Yes, you do.
All right, this one's coming from Nick in Wausau. BJ, what do you get asked more, to see your Super Bowl ring or to do the Raji?
That's a tough one. I mean, coming in the close winner would definitely have to be the dance. Definitely have to be the dance.
I think I get asked to do the Raji more than I get asked to see the Super Bowl ring too. So.
Do you guys do you guys wear your rings?
Not very often, no. If I go out to you know, like a nice dinner or a formal event, then I might put it on. But you know, the first few days after we got them, I was wearing them everywhere. But you know, now it's just special occasions.
Yeah.
Right. I actually, you know, I got my ring up in the safety deposit box. I actually have a replica on the way, so I'll definitely be wearing that thing.
You have a replica on the way.
Correct.
Wow.
You never heard of them?
No.
Wow.
I didn't know they did that kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, Jocelyn was just in the facility maybe like a week or so ago, and they had different options you wanted to do, you know, just because, I mean, obviously it's important to me, and I want to wear it, but wearing a real thing is frightening. If I would ever lose that thing, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, well, I was, one of the PR guys showed me their ring. Oh, those things are, not only they're huge, they're heavy.
Yeah, it's kind of built for a champion.
It's like
you're not a champion, Bill.
You know, for you, you know, for all the Wisconsin people out in the audience, it's like taking a 12-ounce can of beer and taping it to your ring finger and just hanging it, just walking around with it.
I'm sure people in Wisconsin have never drank beer before.
TJ, where's your ring?
Where's my ring?
Yeah, BJ said he has this in a safety deposit box. Where's yours?
Yeah, mine's just at the house. just hanging out. Actually, no, I won't tell you guys that. I don't want to get broken into tonight.
All right.
It's in a safety deposit
Smart
box.
guy. All right, that's our Granite Peak Ski Area email question of the week. Each week we'll be rewarding the email question of the week winner with a 2-night stay and lift tickets for 2 days at Granite Peak Ski Area in Wausau. We'll announce our winner coming up. More after this from Tanner's on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman B.J. Raji.
All right, we are back here with B.J. Raji and T.J. Lang, our guest on the program tonight from Tanner Sports Bar and Grill in Kimberly. This is In the Huddle, our final segment of the show. And let's go out to Justin Hull and find out who our Granite Peak Ski Area winner is.
Yeah, Laura from Appleton, she had the question about the job. She'll pick up the prize package, and a reminder to inthehuddleshow.com. Each and every week you can find out BJ's guest there, as well as submit your questions. So Laura from Appleton, congratulations, she's the winner.
All right, thank you very much. We'll do it again next week. Camp that was not supposed to be kind to rookies and really wasn't, because they had no OTAs, they had no mini camps. They came in not knowing anything about the offense or defense, and the veterans certainly had an advantage there. Yet, when it was all said and done, there were 10 rookies that found their way on this 53-man roster. Does that surprise you guys?
Definitely a little bit. I mean, I didn't think that the guys would pick up, particularly on defense, would pick up the system as quickly as they did, and they were able to be productive and obviously impress the coaches to the place where they felt they deserved a spot in the 53.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's definitely a few guys on that list that, a lot of them had a rough start to camp, taking in all the information of the playbook and getting used to the speed of the game. But one of the guys that really came on late that, I think everybody recognized was Vic Salato, the outside linebacker. He just, had an amazing last 2 games.
What a great story he is, too, huh?
Really,
yeah.
Really just played his way onto the squad. There was no way they could let him go with the way he was playing. So it's a tribute to those guys coming in and being flexible and just adapting to the environment of the NFL.
Now, he told me that his wife told him where to go, where to play.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah,
I heard
that she supposedly that he supposedly had offers from 3 or 4 teams to come in and sign as a free agent and go to training camp. And he said that he worked out with a few guys, a few of the Packers during the offseason, and she said, because you did that, because you already know some people, that might help you at least be more comfortable during training camp. So you go sign with the Packers and we'll go there. So he said, a happy wife is a happy life.
He's very wise for his age.
Yeah. So that's what he did, and he came here and by God, he won himself a job, and she apparently just loves the area and Green Bay and the Valley area here, and she's been all over the place. So
well, now he's screwed because his wife's going to think she's going to be right for the rest of his life. I didn't swear. Now he's going to have to listen to her for the rest of his life.
All right. Post Super Bowl party was Kid Rock. What'd you guys think of Kid Rock?
From what I remember, I think he was pretty cool.
He put on a good performance. He's obviously at that standpoint, you're in a celebratory mode, and he's the type of guy to raise the energy. He's just high energy, and his music is loud, and just at that time, it was very fitting.
All right, so Green Bay is kind of I think it has the image, Northeast Wisconsin in general kind of has that country image. Now there will be a country act there, but Kid Rock, Maroon 5, Lady Antebellum, pretty good lineup. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Maroon 5 definitely makes some good music, and I think the fans will be excited about that. Definitely Kid Rock. Those other people, I don't really know who they are, so I can't really comment on that.
It's going to be quite the change up going from Kid Rock to slow song Lady Antebellum to Maroon 5. That's a pretty random lineup if you ask me, but they're all big time acts, and I think they'll put on a good show for the fans.
All right, Saints have a very good passing game, but they have some real depth at running back as well. Pierre Thomas, Darren Sproles, Mark Ingram. That's what you're facing on Thursday night.
Yeah, they're pretty good, but I always say they're no Adrian Peterson, so I'm not too worried about that. 28 is kind of the guy that sets the standard for me. Those guys are pretty good runners, but they're not going to give us the problem that guy's going to give us.
All right, look at Greg Williams, his defensive coordinator of Saints. They kind of do a lot of everything, don't they? I mean, they're kind of he's almost as unpredictable as Dom Capers.
Yeah, they present you with pretty much every front you can think of. You know, they're not a standard 4-3 team or a 3-4 team or an under team. They give you every single look. So we've definitely had a lot of good preparation. Throughout camp, taking a few days to prepare for them, and yesterday and today. But we also know that there's going to be some snaps out there that they're going to give us a different look that we haven't prepared for. But we really just got to rely on our fundamentals and make sure communication is going to be huge for us this week, making sure everybody's on the same page and we don't have any free runners on a quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers against Drew Brees. Nick Collins was asked if he expects a shootout. He said, "God, I hope not."
Exactly. Sometimes you play with quarterbacks, especially I think when you start talking about the echelon quarterbacks, you're always talking about accuracy. You know what I mean? The ability to sometimes put the ball where only a great quarterback with accuracy can put it. And Drew's definitely capable of doing that. And but I like our cover guys, and they do well one-on-one and in space, and hopefully they can take advantage of some opportunities they'll get.
TJ's a new father, everybody. Congratulations, TJ.
Thank you.
Things are going well?
Things are going well. I wish he slept a little bit more throughout the night, but it's awesome having my family up here, and I'm playing for myself and my family. The last 2 years it was basically looking out for me, and this year to have a couple extra mouths to feed has really made me take a different look on my job and on life.
Congratulations to you. Thanks for coming out. Congratulations on the starting job, and best of luck. Have a great season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
TJ Lang. BJ, looking forward to doing it again next Monday.
Sir.
Thank you very much. Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you. See you next
BJ
week.
Raji and TJ Lang. We'll see you next time here from the Tanner Sports Bar and Grill in Kimberly. Back with more next week, Monday, on the Woodward Radio Network.